Begin that if we can today, possibly. We're going to start our format with the Indigenous Land Announcement, and that's going to be brought to you by the Secretary of the Beyond Black CDC, Ms. Robin Sowers, and Shaniqua, Board Member of Beyond Black. Please welcome them. Thank you.
Thank you again, and again, it's really important to acknowledge whose land we are on. Russian, Oregon, and Multnomah County are the ancestral lands of the Multnomah, Wasco, Katmit, excuse my colonized tongue, Clackamas, Cowlitz bands of Chinook, Tahltan, Kalapuya, Malala, and many other tribes along the Columbia and the Willamette rivers.
Woo! Traditional people were displaced by colonists and settlers. As settlers and/or guests, we recognize strong and diverse native communities in our region, from tribes both local and distant, and other respect and gratitude for their stewardship of these lands throughout the generations. Thank you.
Thank you both. And now to kick this rally off right, here to present the Black National Anthem, also the President of Beyond Black Community Development Corporation, Ms. Nicoya Phillips.
Hi everybody. How's it going? Good. It's really nice to see everybody's faces out here, taking up space, kicking ass, taking names. I just want to take a minute and sing a little bit of the Black National Anthem. If you know the words, feel free to sing along. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Oh, you guys can do better than that. One more time for the choir. Go, please. Now we know that voting in the judicial process is an integral part of our power and our words as a people. So we have some dignitaries and some officials from government that are here today to support that process and to encourage that process. So to bring those government officials up, none other than our wonderful city councilman for the city of Gresham, Mr. Eddie Morales.
Wasn't that beautiful, everyone? We went ahead and posted the lyrics of that song on the event page so that you all can have that too. And maybe if we're lucky, we might get to hear that one more time tonight. Can I have all of the elected officials come forward and get in row in formation, please? If you're an elected official, come forward and get in line. Come on, don't be shy. We're going to do something that we're all very used to, and it's tradition. we're going to introduce ourselves, our name, and we're going to give our titles, but we won't give speeches. Because we're all here to listen and to learn and to reflect on the words of Black leaders in our community. And so we'll go left to right, and to keep it COVID friendly, none of us will touch the mic, but we'll just sort of slide through and flip around. So thank you.
Who's left? Yeah.
Hi everybody, I'm Casey Hansen, Chair of the Democratic Party of Oregon.
Michael Zleitner, the elected trustee for Portland Community College in East Portland.
I'm so short. I'm Lori Stegman, Multnomah County Commissioner representing East County. Hello, everybody. I'm Carla Peluso. I proudly present the great city of Gresham. Also, I'm on the school board for Gresham Barlow, so have a great day.
Hello, I'm Zach Hudson. I serve on the Troutdale City Council. I'm running for State Representative District 49.
I'm Sharon Myron. I am Multnomah County Commissioner for District 1, and that is Multnomah County west of the Willamette River and inner east side, south of 84 and out to Cesar Chavez. So happy to be here.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Sushila Jayapal, Multnomah County Commissioner for District 2, which is north and northeast Portland.
Good evening, everyone. This is tall. This is Jessica Vega Peterson. I'm also Multnomah County Commissioner for District 3, which is much of southeast and east Portland.
I have to jump as I talk. Good evening, everybody. Buenas tardes. My name is Ricky Ruiz. I'm currently in the Reynolds School Board, and I'm your future state representative for the city of Gresham.
Hi, I'm Amanda Orozco Beach. I use she, her pronouns, and I serve on the Gresham Barlow School Board.
How do we do, y'all? We are here to listen. We are here to show solidarity. And thank you all for being here. There is one elected official which we are here to celebrate. And I am thrilled to have this person join us on Gresham City Council, which has been sometimes a lonely place and a frustrating place to have to explain terms like equity, inclusion, diversity, and many times feeling like I'm talking to myself. And so our next speaker is the first Black man to be a Gresham City Councilor. And it is historic, and you all are going to see very soon why we all voted unanimously to appoint him to the council in a few words. And without further ado, Councilor Vincent Jones Dixon.
My name is Vincent Jones Dixon. This is an extremely overwhelming moment for me. I'm from Northeast Portland, lived here in Gresham for about 9 years, and I have a lot of history here in Gresham. By trade, I'm a licensed funeral director, so I've taken care of hundreds of families here in Gresham at Bateman Carroll Funeral Home and at funeral homes across the city. Gresham is a special place for me. I've experienced loss. I've raised my family here. My beautiful wife is hiding over there next to my sister, my mom, in the pink hair. My wife is over there. She's been here for all of her life, 29 years. And I'm excited that number one, that I've been appointed, but I'm excited to serve the city in this capacity. Just a little backstory for me. When I see folks from Beyond Black, when I see Beto and I see Eddie, and when I see folks like Craig that I played, the guy that's taking pictures right here, we played football together, ran the streets together in the North. And when I think about my brother, Andreas Prince Jones Dixon, he was shot and killed in Rockwood back in 2013. The very first time I ever drove to Rockwood, he was explaining the community. My brother, he was an active gang member, and he was saying that how he wanted to start an after-school program for the kids. And all he saw was all the kids that were around him, what they would see is him doing his thing, and he said he wanted to do something different. That was in February 2013. I didn't even know that Rockwood was even a place. I just called it Gresham. 3 months later, he was shot and killed. Here, when we arrived on the scene, when I looked at the fence, I saw kids, and my mind immediately went back to that moment where he was telling me about what he wanted to do and how he wanted out of the lifestyle and how he was just trying to find a way. So that's one of the things that fuels me. We're here to stand for Black Lives Matter. Can I hear Black Lives Matter? Can I hear Black Lives Matter? Can I hear Black Lives Matter? And they do. And here at the City of Gresham, we are being extremely intentional as far as examining our equity practices. We have folks like Robin, who's been leading the equity charge for the city and holding them accountable and having these courageous conversations, and it's cost her a lot. So thank you, Robin, for your efforts. We have folks like Eddie that has been talking, Mario Morales that have been sitting and been pressing the council as it pertains to representation. And because of that, we have had things change as it pertains to the planning commissions and these different committees. So if you live here in Gresham, can you wave your hand? We need you to be involved. There's plenty of seats here on the committees. Your voice matters. Obviously, your voice matters, so get engaged in the process. You have access to all of us. You have access to organizations like East County Risings, who's done a ton of organizing over the last 2 years, so get involved, get plugged in. A lot of your electeds are here. They're here to listen, and they're here to voice and mirror what we need here. You do have the power. We do have the power. Can I hear you say, you can if you will? You will if you can. Say, I can if I will. I will if I can. For me, that statement is an equity statement for me, and that's going to be what I use as I campaign for this next seat. What that means to me is just this personal responsibility. You can if you will, and it's printed on my brother's poster. I'll post it on Facebook tonight. I'm still getting used to social media. I'm a shy guy when it comes to social media, but we can do coffee or what have you. But it's an equity statement. And to me, it means you have your own personal. We have responsibility to each other. So you have your own responsibility to get involved in the process, and then we, as elected, have responsibility to you. So that's our commitment to you. That's my commitment to you, and I'm going to press you each and every time I see you to ask you, who do you know, what do you want, and how are you getting involved? So again, thank you for being here to support Gresham. We are amazing. Look at this. In COVID-19, we are amazing. Look at this. Again, pay attention. Sorry, I don't have my mask on. Folks, get out and research who's running. I have people that I love. You can check out I have people like Dave Dyke. He's running for city council. He served on a whole bunch of committees. We've been having coffee for 3 years. You have access to these people. Talk to them. Ask them questions. You matter. We all matter, but right now the focus is Black Lives Matter, and they do matter here in Gresham. Also have another good friend, Dina. She's running too. And like I said, do your research. Ask them to go out for coffee. Tell them what you want and impress them. So I love you guys. Gresham is amazing again. And say, I can if I will. And I will if I can. Black Lives Matter. Thank you.
Let's hear it one more time for our leaders who showed up here today. Today is also a celebration about the fact that in Gresham, I believe the first city in the state of Oregon, we voted unanimously to raise the Black Lives Matter flag over City Hall. We initially voted to keep it up for the month of July, we also voted that every June going forth, we will raise the Juneteenth flag in this. Last week, I made the motion that the flag should stay up till the end of the year, because Black Lives Matter are going to continue to matter after July. They will continue to matter after this year ends. And we are going to continue to do the work to end systemic racism, homophobia, sexism, ableism, classism, and all the isms here in Gresham. Forgot to throw ageism in there as well, and xenophobia. And so I hope all of you will sign up to participate, to volunteer, to help, because this work we all have to do together. And the reporter asked me a minute ago why we were doing this and what I thought about protests. And I said protests are the only reason we've ever done anything in this country. And this weekend we celebrated the anniversary of the ADA. And it took people with disabilities taking action and protesting for that. We are celebrating the 55th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act this next Thursday. And that took the lives of people to get the right to vote, including Representative John Lewis, who we've recently lost. So, protests, in my opinion, and peaceful protests that have a direct action and a call are what has made our country what it is today. Now, Robin talked about a sign that we have out here. We want your ideas. We want to get specific about what we can do in Gresham to change. That is going to be presented to City Council, and some of us are committed to making that into a resolution and passing that forward so that we can be about action as well. So thank you for being here. I'm turning it back over to Anthony or Robin or both of them.
I'm sorry about that. Any round of you guys and all the elected officials that came up. More importantly, everybody that's here today. I also wanted to give a shout out to one of the groups that's been helping organize peacefully and professionally all of these movements and these rallies to support people of color and people that have been marginalized, displaced out here in East County, and that is the Stand Up Gresham movement with Shamar Lennox. I want to give a shout out to him and all the work that they have done to put a lot of these marches and rallies together. And also, I'm sorry, we missed to not mention Jalen as well. So Shamar and Jalen, want to give them a hand. Now I have a remedy to all of this, because a lot of times we will miss people's names and what they've done for us. So in the community, a lot of times, particularly in the sports community, we'll just say somebody's name, and then the crowd will say, you know, like they already know what it's all about. So I might say something like, Shamar and Gresham, and you might say, you know. I might say Vince Jones, and you'll say, you know. I might say Black Lives, and you'll say, you know. All right, we got the gist of it. Let me try it one more time. Gresham, you know. Black Lives, you know. Vince Jones, you know. Horace Stegman, you know. All right, we got the idea. So next time I shout out somebody's name, I don't need to say no accolades. I don't need to say anything professional. I just need to say their name, and you'll say, you know. Wonderful. Okay, so we're going to start off also with some personal testimonies, some stories. And before we do that, we have a poet that's going to come up and express some art to us. and lavish us with some poetry. And her name is Miss Nicole, so please welcome Miss Nicole. Miss Nicole! Miss Nicole!
Hi, thank you guys for having me. I am a poet from Northeast Portland. I was born and raised there, and usually I like to start off a performance with a little bit about me, but the only thing that I want you guys to take from this is the words from my poetry, and that we would like for the officers named Jonathan Mattingly, Brent Hankinson, and Miles Cosgrove to be arrested for the murder of Breonna Taylor. Before I am anything, I am a black woman. I was raised by black women, and I love more than anything in this world black women. That is what my poems are always about. That is what I'm about to share with you is about. And I'm gonna fight for Breonna Taylor and every other black woman for the rest of my life. Black women are the epitome of enigma, the personification of perfection, beauty in the eye of every beholder, and for far too long y'all have been asleep, so as I spill this tea, sip this Folgers. I am subconsciously sublime, and like wine, I just get better with time because I am consciously aware of the fact that I am carrying the weight of my ancestors on my back. And society just wants me to do crack, lay on my back, and have a couple babies. A white man could shoot me and I'd go to jail first for saying it's shady. Nefertiti, Cleopatra, Ruby Bridges, Coretta King, Sojourner, Harriet, y'all are whom I speak up to, whom I pray to from my knees, so I beg and I ask kindly when I am tripping, guide me, remind me that I am a black queen. And from everything I could have been born, I was born looking like you, from the way my skin gleams in the sun to the way that the words curl off of my tongue. I am who they desire and to which they aspire. Tell me I'm pretty, I'm worth it, because with a face like this and a shape like this, I am always a target. Whether it be from the men who think that my consent is up for bargain, or the women who hate me for the way that I look and then pay thousands for the body that I inherited. Or maybe it'll be the die-hard Americans who find it imperative to constantly remind me that I did not belong in a place that I did not ask to be. The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. And the most neglected person in America is the black woman. And that sucks because the love, the care, the beauty of a black woman is one that many cannot touch. Yet too often I hear the stereotype that we're ghetto or down on our luck. So just in case you were wondering, 43 out of 50 black women graduate high school, including me. That's 86%. And the number of black women in college surpasses any other race again, and that includes America's prized white men. So when you're using that educated jab, you're not gonna win. The paper bag, the diaper, the windshield wipers, half of the things that you and I use, we created, yet we are still not worthy of love, affection, and protection. Karma gonna come around knowing y'all learn your lesson. Thank you. I got one more for you guys. I am not your baby. And that's not me being shady. It's just that every other nigga I let get beside me tried to play me. But I know you want to get to know me and all. You want to take me to lunch and all. You not even trying to fuck it all. But what is it about me that has drawn me to you? Is it the way that the words go from my tongue? Is the way that my pants hug my hips? But see, this is the thing. I can take my own trips. I can pat my own back. I can scratch my own back. I don't need you. You don't even want more for yourself. You just see you as another black boy, and I cannot let you steal your joy, steal my joy. I cannot want good for you more than you do. Me, I'm just a young black woman on a mission, and it is your choice whether or not you choose to listen, but you will not stunt my growth nor stifle my passion. I've learned over time that if I want something, I simply have to make it happen, and that is all I am trying to do. So just know that if you coming at me, I come with all of that. Thank you.
Miss Nicole? Miss Nicole! Miss Nicole! Give me one more hand of applause, you guys. Wonderful statement. Please let that sink into your heart. Next, we have a series of testimonies that would not make this rally wouldn't be what it would be if there wasn't some cause, a reason for these testimonies. Eddie said that a lot of this movement comes out of protest. Protest comes out of pain. Protest comes out of occurrences that create pain. And so we have a couple of stories that are recent occurrences today. Pass on by. This is important for you all to hear. These are stories of recent accounts of racism right here in the city of Gresham. These are stories that are recent accounts, so recent that they were recent as a week and a half ago, right here in the city of Gresham. Stories of abuse, stories of intimidation, stories that created trauma for those that were involved. And so these are stories that you need to hear, because these are stories that are happening today. So with no further ado, I want to welcome up Anisha to start by telling her story. Please listen.
Hi, everybody. Many of you may not know my name. Well, I'm Onisha Nelson, and I like to consider myself as a community advocate, and I do my best to speak on the wrongdoings of others, because just like many of you, I have been wrong too. As a matter of fact, just on July 16th, my little sister and her 2 kids were walking down the street in Gresham, and a white man with a mad face threw fluids on her and her kids. My sister, who chooses to remain anonymous, had another incident happen to her within the same week. At Winco on the 19th, a person shoved her child. She now suffers from anxiety and barely leaves the house. She's very traumatized from this. Some of you are probably thinking, well, why didn't you call the cops? Well, in black and brown communities, police culture is not one that us black people think of as friendly nature. So what I did do was go to City Hall and tell about these incidents. But once I spoke to City Hall, a cop was called, and the cop called me. At that time, I'm thinking, great, finally, this is going to be some amazing restorative justice. They're going to go find the people that did this, and everything's going to be okay. Except this cop was the exact opposite. I just thought he was going to get to the bottom of it and hear me, but boy was I wrong. The cop that was assigned to our case was very forceful in his demeanor and wanted to get me to file a complaint. The cop could have used this opportunity as for the black community to gain some trust in the Gresham police. But no, once I proceeded to file my complaint, he then asked, well, would your little sister like to say something? Or would she like to leave her statement? I explained to the cop, no, because she's very shaken up by this, and if you give me at least 2 hours, I will get back to you and see what she says. Then we ended the call. After that, the cop goes over to my sister's house, and my sister was very shaken up. She thought I called the cops on her. She said the cop immediately began to film her and ask her for her statement, even though she told the cop that she wanted to be left out of this. This shaken my sister to her core. Cop culture, in my perspective, tends to be one of a military force and structure. It does not come off as a friendly nature to people in the community, especially black and brown people. In 1996, my cousin was gunned down by Portland police. My cousin was pulled over in Northeast, and the cops immediately started shooting at his car. So my cousin got out of the car and ran from the police, and they shot him in his back. And they would not let the EMT near him for hours. You guys can probably go look up that story on DeMarcus Keller. He was my cousin. But because police have such a stigma and a culture of attacking brown and black people, we have lost trust in them to serve and protect us in our community. I would like to see some of that trust brought back into our communities. It all starts with acknowledgement from the police, right? And it also starts with an apology and then changed behavior. Do you believe we can have that?
Onisha. Onisha. It would be nice to be able to say that that is a rare story, a rare occurrence, one of few opportunities to speak about incidents like this in the city of Gresham, but it's not. There are many, and there are not far and few between. We'd like to open up the stage to an opportunity for folks that want to come up and share their stories. If you've had a recent or not so recent incident in the city that you want folks to be aware of, or outside of the city, and you want to share you want the opportunity to share your perspective, your story, and tell it to the group, please come at this time.
Okay, ooh, that is loud. All right, hi, my name is Quenisha Brooks, and I actually live in Corbett. I'm running for school council out there. So just for a moment, I would like to ask anyone that's not a person of color to please sit down for a second. Just for one moment, I appreciate it. And I would like anybody that is a person of color to please stand. Thank you. And I just wanted to remind you all that we are all here and we are all united. Even though I do not live in Gresham, I still came here to support you. And I just wanted to be sure that our voices are heard. So I just wanted to take a moment to see all of you, you know, as you are. Because sometimes I feel like we're getting drowned in the crowd. And so I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so anybody that's ever been to Corbett, it's pretty racist out there. I mean, like, years of racism out there. And, you know, I just happen to be adopted out there because my mom, she has schizophrenia, and she lives in Northeast Portland. And my dad was murdered in Portland. And so I never knew him. But the way that people were being bullied and stuff so badly for not having the same last name or being gay or being black all the time, I'm just like, you know, can't beat all of you up, but, you know, if I have an opportunity where this town's ready for a change, I'm going to be there. You know, like, not all these towns are ready for that type of change. But I'm so glad that Gresham is, because we really depend on Gresham for everything. Like, we don't even have a city council in Corbett. Like, that's how tiny it is. And so we have to come out here for everything. And I'm so glad that this change is impacting so many people. So I think you guys deserve a round of applause for that. So the reason I'm up here is because I had a conversation with Shimar last night for like a good hour about, you know, just asking if he was okay with his car and like social changes, like social programs that actually benefit our communities. Not just in Gresham, but like in the St. John's area where I've worked with tons of kids and where my dad was even murdered. I want to change that whole community. You know, we don't hold these protests, and right now there's so much gang violence and it's so drowned out because the protests downtown that I'm like, oh my gosh, like, how are we going to make that type of change there, you know? it's really like deep in my head. And then one of the challenging questions I'd ask my community is, if there's not that many Black people here, how are you going to raise your kids to like fight against racism without making them feel guilted into it? You know what I mean? So instead of making them just like feel guilty about Black people and their experiences, but because they're American, deserve that. You know, and nobody really has the answer to that, but that's something that I hope we can develop programs and answer together. So that is pretty much everything I had to say. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you for that safe segue. My name is Richard Gilliam. I am a community organizer. I work here in our community with the vulnerable population every day. I'm coming up here to speak very briefly because I want to give other people a chance to speak. But I'm coming up here to speak because I just want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who's come out. Black Lives Matter. Always have, always will. But it matters that you came out tonight. It mattered that you brought young people out here. The only way that we're going to make a dent or make changes is that we ingrain in our young people the importance and the efficacy of us coming together and fighting for what we believe in together. Not fighting against each other, but fighting together. A couple of speakers ago, they talked about the Americans with Disability Act, talked about the anniversary of the Voting Rights Act. All those major accomplishments came with a struggle, came with someone paying the price, previous generations. Now is the time for us to continue that legacy, continue that tradition of us standing up together to make changes. So we have a lot of work to go. A lot of work we need to do. But let's stay on message. Let's understand that Black Lives Matter. And yes, constitutional rights and infringement upon our rights as a state is important when we're looking at, federal property and all that. But however, let's stay on point about Black Lives Matter. Okay? That's all I have to say. Someone said, why don't you say something? You have a lot to talk about concerning experiences. But you know what? There's a lot of experiences here. We have 400 years of experiences. And so now it's time to take that experience and let's start making some real change. Thank you.
My name is Bella. Some of you guys might know me as Quantis's girlfriend 3 years ago. Andrew Hurst killed him, probably police officer. And I've been at every single one of these as much as I can, because we're not going to stop fighting until they get it. Black lives do matter, and they have to stop taking them from us. That little girl, she needs her dad, and she doesn't have her dad anymore. And she was saying, I can't breathe. They didn't listen. And that's really it. They need to listen. It needs to stop. I don't know how many more hearts have to break for it to stop, but it's enough.
Enough hearts are broken already, and mine included. Quantis's little siblings included, his mom's, his whole family, George Floyd's family, and all of the families.
Hello. So I have lived in Gresham for about 28 years, and that's the majority of my lifetime. My grandparents My parents moved here in 1989, and then, 1990, and then a year later I was born. Gresham, for me, it's hit and miss, I have to say. I have been, I guess you can say, racially profiled by Troutdale Police. I've lived in this area. I live on 182nd. And I have been racially profiled by police in Troutdale and in Gresham. Stopped for no reason, just because I had other white folks in the car. And, you know, I've also gone homeless out here. And right now I'm currently living in North Portland with my grandparents. So we have to start doing changes here in Gresham. As much as I would say, you know, yeah, I would like to go away, never come back, I can't do that because my family still lives here. So, and as coming from a father who's come from Mississippi, he's seen a lot of civil rights era things. He warned us about this way before we were even grown-ups, that this stuff happens every day. So I never really had a childhood because I was still at fear of my dad going to work and my parents going to work every day, just because there was no... What, are you talking to me?
No, go ahead.
Because there was no support. And so I'm saying that we need to stand and make a change. Vince is a very good change that we just made here, and I'm so happy. But that's just the start of it. See, we have to continue to keep going. We can't let this type of steam run down. And so as a community organizer, I organized the Women's March back in 2017 here in Portland. And I've been coming out to these marches. I came out to when Quantis Hayes was killed with Teresa Rayford. And I'm just going to continue to come out to these things because, and I forget what her name was, Quantis Hayes' girlfriend. Like she said, we have to continue to keep fighting this. We can't not let them forget about the people that have lost their lives here in Portland and Gresham. And sadly, because of the history that's not being taught in schools, that's exactly what's happening. So we're going to continue to be loud, we're going to continue to speak up, and we're going to continue to fight. Thank you.
Hey y'all, my name is Ty. Well, y'all can just call me that. But I came here through my program, which is the Play, Grow, Learn program. You know, they really been inspiring me lately, so I just had to get up here because y'all been talking. I got me some words I gotta say. Okay, it's hot. The reason why I don't have my mask on is because I've been walking around doing my thing. I've been trying to help y'all feel welcome. You feel me? So, this is my message to y'all. I had just went downtown to Ted Wheeler. I was happy I got to talk to him about everything. And when I got to speak up and get on the news and everything, my exact words was all lives matter. Most lives are all black lives are targeted, and that's the word for that. I don't want to say black lives matter because all of our lives matter. All of our lives matter, and if we're going to step up as a community, we're going to have to be one together. As one, we're going to have to walk around as one and accept everybody for one. We're going to focus on all Black Lives Matter, and you can show that by doing this and being here and coming together as one, but we have to still have respect for each other because we are all one together, and that's how we're going to get the police to believe that too. We're all going to have to stick together to be one together.
Gresham. This is an amazing reflection of this city. What I get to see right now. Yes, I am Vincent's mother. True story. I have to tell you that I had the opportunity of being able to listen in to the deliberations and the whole process, and I want to applaud Gresham on their process, on their open process of this appointment. But I got to tell you, from a mother's heart, to hear your son's name said 6 times while driving on MLK was a monumental moment in my life. Because I know what this young man stands for. And it is a true story that just over 7 years ago, I said these words, "That's my son," when I was attempting to get to my son who was lying feet away from me in a condition that I was not sure of. That's my son. When officers tried to stop me because of process and protocol, not understanding, that's my son. That's right. But today is a different day. That's my son. And I stand here as I say that because I have the blessing of having 8 sons. This one right here, you guys get to have in your city, fighting for you, fighting for the betterment of this city, for all of its citizens. Not some, all. Now, if we really believe that Black Lives Matter, can we also acknowledge another mother, who unfortunately has a seat in the same club that I do. Lori Palmer is here. She has an organization called Go Get Your Child. And literally has recently lost one of her babies. Lori, would you just stand so we can acknowledge you? I'll believe Black Lives Matter when there's a door shut, padlocked, and nobody else gets in our club. I'll believe it then. I'll believe that Black Lives Matter when it matters in our scholastic system and our teachers and our administrators and our staff look like the children they serve. I'll believe that Black Lives Matter when more cities do what Gresham just did and they bring people of color into the fold. Not just a seat at the table, talking at the table, eating from the table, making that table different. I'll believe Black Lives Matter when we do more than say we need affordable housing. I need my people to be able to buy it. The color of the skin of the person standing in front of you. When you stop making circles on applications going, I'm not sure. We're not really sure, but we appreciate you. We had a lot of great candidates, and you were one of them. When you give over the power, I will believe Black Lives Matter to you.
Vince's mom. Vince's mom. Vince's mom. Well, we also want to contribute to some of the speeches that weren't said today, and we was asked to give about a 15-second moment of silence for those untold stories, for those stories that have not been represented, but that are many today, so we can take a few seconds for a moment of silence and we can continue our program. Thank you. I have a colleague in the audience. His name is Jermaine Flintroy. We run an organization called Play, Grow, Learn. And Play, Grow, Learn hopes to serve young people in the community, both in outer Southeast Gresham and the East counties. And one of the terms that Jermaine uses oftentimes when there's a lot of rhetoric going on and there's a lot of talk but not a lot of action is, he'll look at me and go, bro, what are we doing? What are we doing? Because we do a lot of talking, but we don't do a lot of action. We can either question, what are we here for? What is the purpose of this? What is the intent? If Black Lives Matter, then we should have the capacity to organize so that a young family can walk up and down the streets of Gresham without something being thrown on them. If we don't, I want you to look at your neighbor and say, what are we doing? If you cannot come together with me today and create a scenario where we can guarantee that Onisha and her sister and those babies can walk up and down the streets of Gresham from now on in this city without that threat of danger, then what are we doing? We have to ask ourselves that. We're beginning a petition right now, and I'm the first to sign on to it, that says I'm going to dedicate an hour of my time once a month to guarantee that Onisha's family or any other family that wants to walk the city of Gresham and through the streets of Gresham can do so with my escort and my support. If not, then what are we doing? Young people that have Play, Grow, Learn shirts on have walked around with a petition. There's also a table, and Robin, I believe, where's Robin at? Robin can give you some clipboards if you want to sign up, because if we don't take action, if we don't create a guarantee, if we don't create policies, if we don't vote, if we don't have legislation, if we don't have someone that support us, then what are we doing? This Black Lives Matter rally, this gathering doesn't have any meaning unless we're doing something about it. So please keep that in mind. If we don't support each other, then what are we doing? We have some other folks that are going to come up and share their stories, so please give them your attention.
Black Lives Matter? No justice?
No peace.
No justice?
No peace.
I said no justice?
No peace.
Okay, I've been out the loop for a little minute, but it's good to see all of you here tonight. So I'm new to Gresham. I've been here about 2 years, but my brother Vince, he's been here for a minute holding it down. And honestly, my engagement at a Gresham level mainly is to support him and to let my brother know that he's not standing alone, and we got his back. Amen? I'm a pastor, so I say things like amen. Amen? Amen. Speaking of which, I'm just going to talk just real quick. I just want you to know that all that you're doing, all that you're saying, all that you're posting, I don't want you to feel like it's falling on deaf ears or that it's pointless. We got to keep posting. We got to keep talking. We got to keep screaming from the mountaintops that Black Lives Matter. And because this is what I'm understanding. So I got here about 6 o'clock, 6:30ish, and I went down once I recognized there was a counter protest down the street. I know they said don't go down there, but I'm a little hard-headed. And I needed to understand what was going on. And there was this mixed race lady, black and white is what she said she was, and she was leaving with her kids. And I just had to understand how she was standing on that side of the street, you know what I'm saying? And so I just called out to her, ma'am, can you explain to me what's on your sign? Her sign said BLM infiltrated. And I didn't know what that meant. Like, what are you talking about? She said it was her friend's sign. She didn't know what it meant. But it was good because we began to have some conversation. And in the conversation, she identified herself as a Christian woman. And it was that reason that she couldn't get down with Black Lives Matter. And I said, man, well, that's interesting because I'm a pastor. I'm a Christian myself. And I'm here to say that Black Lives Matter. But help me understand what your problem is with it. And she says, well, this side of the street, talking about the street, the side she was on, you know, they're for unity. And this side of the street, they're for justice and they're for law and order. I said, ma'am, okay, I love that you said that. But Breonna Taylor was a paramedic in her own house, and the police walked in and shot her, and they're still free today. Can you help me understand where the law and order is in that? And she said, I hear your point. She said, but this is a good nation. We're a Christian nation. We were founded on Christian principles. I said, I love when y'all say that because it sounds real good. Except genocide is not a Christian principle. In slavery, enslaving black people, like that's not a Christian principle. Like if God freed the slaves from Egypt, why would he be down for enslaving Americans or Africans in this America? So can you help me understand how this country is founded upon Christian principles? And she said, oh, well, you got a point. Well, they did the Irish way worse. I said, wait. We're not going to. So I just want to let you know that it was hard because as I'm talking to her son, who had to be like 10, kept trying to butt in and defend their position. And it just kept reminding me how young this type of thinking is being taught. And the only way that we undo it is to keep screaming it, is to keep teaching it, is to keep teaching truth. And what I recognize in that instances and many other is that where we fail a lot of times, and the reason why there's so much disagreement is because we just fail to acknowledge the truth. We are not asking for them to give us anything above and beyond what other people have. We're just saying, will you acknowledge the truth of what is? And then if the truth is too ugly to admit, then let's change it. You don't gotta lie about it. If it's so bad that you feel like you gotta lie about it or protect it, then come across the street and help us fight to change it. So I just wanted to say that your fight is not in vain. Your labor is not in vain. I know people might get tired of seeing your posts and singing the same old song, but it is necessary, and it's the only way we're going to get to where we're trying to go. All right? Love y'all. Likewise, love.
Lori Palmer.
You know.
Lori Palmer.
You know.
Thank you for those that participated in the announcements and some of your stories that you shared. It takes a great deal of bravery to come up and tell your story. It really does, especially among souls that you don't know. So thank you for that. Now we have a musical artist of another kind that's going to share his story in a very, very talented way. Please welcome up Mr. Donovan.
Before you hit play, thank y'all for being out here. I'm also with Beyond Black CDC, and yeah, just very happy to see y'all out here. You know, I say Black Lives Matter sometimes, but I'm more of a fan of the phrase Black Power. So let's say Black Power. Black Power. Black Power. Black Power. Black Power. Black Power. All right, y'all might get a little bit bored as I'm rapping. I'm really involved in a lot of different things, so I rap about what's going on in the city in terms of the politics and things I don't like a lot. So that's what you're gonna be hearing. But Andre. Can we turn it up? It's so low. Check. All right, thank you. Don't boo me, y'all. If you do, I'ma fire y'all. I don't know how, but I'ma fire y'all. Can you turn it up, though? That's it. Okay. Know about y'all, but I know about us, and it's the only way we know how to scribe. I don't know about y'all, but I know about us, and it's the only way we know how to scribe. I don't know about y'all, but I know about us, and it's the only way we know how to scribe. I don't know about y'all, but I know about us. Hey, welcome to Scribes. I pen parts of life with this little light of mine, 28 in sight. Filled by blue moons, trial and error, was a failure with a Tyson like type, will to fight. And while I'm trapped in this room, I'm trying to break free like it was mom's womb. Thoughts of becoming dad soon. Speaking of packed rooms, about my people drowning in this man-made monsoon. Price of living is hostile. About to raise my prices up like Jesus and apostles. China has he said the world is white people's castle. Blow the fucking hinges off your rent, it's getting canceled. Walking on water, now I feel there's nothing I can't do. Fought so many times, still immersed through the smoke plume. What's professional to humanity? What's your module? My suit and tight, might talk and some sweats too. Listen to scribes, it might behoove you. I wish I could move this microphone. I feel very stuck right now. History, I'm a part of it. I never claimed I started it. I know a bit. I beat the script from wisdom. I imparted it. Still broke cause wealth is really owned by the 1%. You screaming at the president. You better organize it so many won't vote. I used to not either till I beat the locals. Just a tip. The powers in the people and the politics address. It's us against the world, but it spins nonetheless. Hey, photo shoot fresh. Go ahead and snap your pictures. The planet won't look like this for too many more features. Hate to go and picture y'all, but didn't make you listen. Glad I have your ear though. Said I'm Tyson at the entrance. This right here is just a start to a sentence. Extremely well written, wordplay the slickest, with a few muses that I had about life. So thank you for your time. It's time. Welcome to Scribes. So thank you for your time. It's time. Welcome to Scribes. I know about y'all, but I know about us. So thank you for your time. It's time. Welcome to Scribes. So, wait. What you doing there? Can somebody help me get this thing off of here? Cause, yeah. Okay, boom.
I'm helping too.
Well, I know, right?
Yeah, protest club saving the day.
Beautiful.
Check. Y'all still here? Y'all still here? Let's do one more time. Black Power.
Okay, hey,
Black Power.
there you go.
Black Power.
I'll take off for the day, but yeah, so City Hall, Gresham City Hall, that's what's going on with this group of people. So just FYI, I hope you guys are all having a great night. Catch you later.